What's good? What's going on? Masculine Post, welcome to the channel. Like, subscribe, share, show your love, get the word out. Let's talk about it. Male assertiveness, male assertiveness and respect, female beauty and disrespect. Male assertiveness and respect, female beauty and disrespect. It seems like an odd thing that I've noticed that even cultures that have the most respect, culture like Africans, usually they're known for respect. The women are usually very respectful. They carry themselves in a certain way, and the men have that position. Um, but something that I've seen and noticed in females is as soon as they get a man in a loving relationship, I've seen it between sugar daddy arrangements where a younger lady is with an older man who is very well respected in society. She is very respectful and polite, even in her mannerisms and language. In Africa, I tend to use, like in Nigeria, I'm not Nigerian, like Oga, and the word itself means is a word you apply to somebody older. Um, but when they somehow get that man in a romantic way, their respect goes, because the beauty that she has and the admiration or adoration that the man may have for the woman, for her, becomes disrespect. And this man could, he still hold his senior position in any field of life. And he still very much loves the respect because he commands respect amongst his peers, maybe even his workers. Um, but the female is always very quick to jump into the disrespect pond. So unless you are, unless you're really an assertive person, some men let it go because they think she's beautiful, they think she's cute, and so forth. So there's this battle that occurs because women know that the way to a man initially is mannerisms and politeness and respect. Show that you respect the man because they understand when a man is respected, he often responds to people differently. Just like somebody comes to your house or your office asking for money, they come doing that with a whole lot of respect because they understand the respect gets to a man. And we know that in a marriage for a man, love is really respect. The more you respect the man, the more you really love him. So, what does that mean then if the female is always very keen to forego, or initially she introduces herself with the amount of respect, and then that respect is quickly gone? What does that mean? It means she starts to see herself like, now I got to, now I can be disrespectful. I am so grateful that even though I was raised by my mother, I was surrounded by many males who did not tolerate respect. So I learned, even as a young boy, I quickly learned that respect is a prize that you ought to command. So as a man, you need to assert yourself. Male assertiveness. When the female starts to display disrespect, you have to assert. You do not get to disrespect me. And that comes with the idea of walking away. A lot of men get caught up in a situation where they're infatuated with a woman. They're in love, that romantic, courtly love, to the point that they get disrespected. So that's a battleground that a lot of men have to fight. A lot of men lose this battle, but yet they need respect. In any marriage, when you want to see initially, maybe the man is chasing the woman is all cute and really proper. As soon as he marries her, sometimes at the engagement level, you see all types of disrespect. And the female may even teach the disrespect to the children. And yet, if you ask women, or if you hear women's talking points, they say a man needs respect. So they understand that. So a man will start to die in the inside without that respect. He needs to assert himself. He needs to be respected. That's his part of a dominance, so he can do what he does and feel loved. The woman using her beauty, something that's not sustainable long term, she quickly goes to disrespect. which is why I think now that the level of disrespect is far too high for modern day females, that it's not worth it for men to be in relationship with them. Now, women may say, I still get guys hating on me. Guys have no problem wanting to have sex. And unfortunately, too many guys are quite okay with being disrespected as long as they get to lay down with you. The key to a man will always be respect. Most men will attest to the fact that even when you get disrespected as a young boy, like on the basketball field, you want to be like, you got this anger rise up in you because it's in your DNA to demand respect. Now, not everybody knows how to assert that in a proper fashion, but it's in your DNA to demand respect, to have respect, even from your peers. Okay? So something in a woman quickly jumps to disrespect unless she's got the cultural framework such as in the South, in the Middle East, where the woman is forced to conduct herself in a respectable manner because the law will come down on her. Now, where we don't have any framework, the woman will use that as a bait and then she'll switch. And you no longer have the respect that you desire. But now, as some guys are waking up, they're like, if you don't respect me, then I'm not going to have you in my life. But for the guys to say that, it's because they are getting that high level of disrespect where a woman is recording you or talking loud, talking over you. And once again, I'm saying that I'm glad, like, I never had the allowance, and maybe because I had enough friends around me who are female who are were beautiful, and I never had a problem in the dating as a young man. So I never liked disrespect, whether it was being late. I was just very much about making sure that that was never something that occurred to me. But we all have instances where we liked a girl, she was so pretty, we tolerated it. And that's the part that allows women to pass. And that behavior is then learned by other females, where your level of respect is just out the window just because she's beautiful. And that's why we need to quit that, because I'm glad these days that some men are letting that go. Oh, you won't respect me. I because men would say, I think we should do that. The girls, nah, I cannot do that. I want to have that. Now I know it's a skit, the cheesecake thing factor, but that women have that sassiness about being able to command a man who is the one responsible for paying the bills. Or I've seen situations where a man buys flowers for a woman and she disrespectfully responds, and he has to try and be like that little puppy, trying to lick her boots and impress. So the male assertiveness with respect is really one of the components of love. The beauty for the woman does not have to translate to disrespect, but it's become normative. And that's why I do believe men really need to walk away when disrespect is being administered to them. It's not fair if you are bringing the best of yourself and you are who you are. And even if you are not, you're a nobody in society, even if you're just a store clerk, if you work in retail, you need to assert that your environment commands respect, because that's your department. Your manhood is always present, whether no matter what job you are, you're not less than. And if that's your requirement, then you hold that as a standard. Of course, like I said, it's unfortunate when men drop the respect requirement and cannot assert themselves because this female is supposedly too good to let go. And that's the part where we err and we allow ourselves. Because sometimes when you do that, yes, you will lose that beautiful female who is trashy in the inside. But by you foregoing that, you assert your boundaries of respect. That is so important because it seems like there's a clash. There's a clash that's taking place where females are more and more. This has always happened historically. Like a king would get disrespected by the queen, and then he had to do something about it. But most men were too much in love with the queen that they allowed that. It's always happened, but now the modern woman has become standardized, disrespectful when men is what they need. If women were to peep game, they would hold down the line of respect for the man, and they get way more from a man. But now, since it's toxic for them to do that, they just feel like they have to be in a disrespectful mode. Matter of fact, from the jump, some women are just straight up uh, disrespectful and toxic about it. and most men tolerate it because women are supposedly, oh, she's too beautiful to let go. Now, this is the part where y'all men have to say, no, I will not get disrespected. I need to be about my purpose. And even if I go with that, I don't know whether I'll get another one like her. But if you start to hold yourself to that standard, you get further in life for yourself. That feminine does not have to come with disrespect. It can be submissive if it wants to. And we're not talking about groveling here. We're talking about submission to the fact that there's a situation with a man who requires that. Just like in an African setting, you see young boys have to carry themselves with respect amongst certain people, so seniors. They yield to that. They submit to that. In any kingdom, there has to be a hierarchy. If these words trigger women in a way that makes them not submit or yield or show, respect, then let it be. We're not here to try to appease. We have to hold the line because this is the act of love we look for. Yes, actions demonstrative, but with coupled with respect, honoring words. If it's not that, then you don't get to have that woman or any woman that is incapable of doing that. If you're incapable, you don't qualify for my position of provider, protector, or anything that you see me as. You don't qualify for that because the trade is so simple. I'm trading with far greater things: my life, my provisions, my sweat, my tears, stressful nights. Respect is not that hard for them to. You can see that that's why they lead with it in the beginning. All right. Peace, love, and blessings.